Hey there, fellow adult collectors. Welcome back. David Eon here with another vintage virtual video tour, catalog tour, if you will. This time taking a look at the 1986 Tonka Toy Fair Dealers catalog. I've done several of these in the past. It's been a while since I've done one, but I'm back doing them again, and this time I picked a real grail catalog for you here. There is a lot of vintage toy goodness in this catalog. You've got GoBots, Rock Lords, Pound Puppies, Tonka Trucks, Steel Monsters, Legions of Power, and much more. Catalog has over 100 pages. People forget how much Tonka did back in the day, and you probably spotted that there. This catalog used to belong to Catherine. Whoever Catherine was, I don't know. Maybe that's Catherine. But it's my catalog now, and I'm going to share it with you. This is a great way to get a feel for the world of toys in that era. And the 80s was a great time for toy collecting. And you see the Tonka's World of Entertainment, talking about basically how entertainment is our business. After all, Tonka Toys have been entertaining kids for 40 years. So 1986 was their 40th anniversary. And there is your table of contents. And you see that GoBots is very prominent there. GoBots takes up a lot of real estate in this catalog. It was one of their top selling toys at the time, competing, of course, with Hasbro's Transformers series. And here you see your page spread, and the paragraph there is basically telling you about how GoBots are superstars, returning for a command performance of the world-renowned GoBots, the top-selling male action figures for 2 years in a row. GoBots are keeping in the spotlight with 33 new episodes of their very own syndicated series, Challenge the GoBots, and a new feature-length movie. And indeed, there are a lot of GoBots in this catalog. This image barely scratches the surface. Any GoBots fans out there? I know that Tonka got out ahead of Transformers when Hasbro first brought Transformers to the United States, but it did not work out as well for GoBots as it did for the Transformers. And here you see the Guardian assortment, which is a lot of figures, ages 5 and up. And these, of course, are the smaller ones. And you're seeing the regular and transformed. Did they call it transforming on GoBots? I don't remember. I barely remember the show, to be honest. But both versions, vehicle mode and robot mode, are demonstrated in the images. I think there are still a lot of GoBots fans out there. I like the ship and the sub. I get a kick out of that. Look at this. Great stuff. Very innovative. Very simple. You can tell that these are extremely simple to transform. I remember not caring for the show as a child. And to be fair, the Transformers show wasn't that great either. I know somebody's going to get upset, but it really was not well written or well drawn, if you want to be honest. The Renegade assortment. Renegades. I used to have a bunch of carded GoBots. I no longer have them. But by no means do I devalue them as collectible toys. They're very significant, historically speaking, as 80s toys go. Psykill, that's a great name for a villain. Psykill. Again, any big GoBots fans out there? Hot Shot assortment. And again, these are all small vehicles. Small vehicle assortments. And it's interesting to look through these catalogs, as I've pointed out before, and I don't know if there are any examples in this catalog. Guardian Scooter, I think I had that when I was a kid. As I've pointed out in other catalog tours, sometimes you see stuff that never made it to market. It's how you find out about prototypes that they just kind of canceled. And like I said, I'm not sure that there's anything like that in this catalog off the top of my head, but you never know. Another reason that I really like it is because you see things that you forgot about, or things that you may have never known existed that you could be interested in. And these are 3-packs, gift packs, and Boomer vehicles, it says. So these are 3-pack assortments. And then here is packaging details for how those will be sold. Which I like it when they show the packaging in these catalogs. They don't always do that. And here's some Renegade vehicles. That one looks like it launches a ball. That's pretty cool. More GoBots. And that is the, what, Space Hawk? Yeah, it says Space Hawk GoBot Interceptor. So they have to have vehicles. Yeah, you see the guy sitting in there. Zod, Renegade Robot, which is right there. That's Zod. And then the Guardian Robot Transport. Scales, a collector's case. Any fans of collecting cases out there? I think collector's cases are pretty neat. Often hard to find in good shape too, because they were vinyl. Power suits. Bet those were expensive retail. GoBots not included, by the way. See how there's like robots inside the suit, so they fit in there, but you got to get them separately. See, there it is, GoBots not included. And of course the suits transform into vehicles, and you won't see prices. Usually if there's prices in a catalog, the dealer wrote it in themselves. And monstrous and puzzlers, it says. Monstrous and puddlers, the monstrous assortment and the puzzler assortment. And as you may have guessed, this is like combining robots. There's your monstrous assortment. And in their vehicle mode, I suppose. And then your puzzler combined up, which actually that looks really clunky. And then loose and in vehicle modes. And again, obviously these were very simple to transform. So were older Transformers, quite frankly, for the most part. And the play set. Thruster Renegade GoBot headquarters. And then on the other side, the command center. So you had a playset for both. That's a tough one. I don't know that I've seen that actually. Out in the wild, if you will. I don't think I've seen that. I've definitely seen this several times. In the box even. The traditional command center. And another playset, the GoBots Fortress. How cool is that? How cool is that for a playset? And big enough for all your GoBots to stand in. A lot of great playsets in the 80s. There's the front of it. See, it's got like transparent plastic windows. Very cool. It's a little driveway. Elevator. And the super assortment, which of course were larger vehicles. I told you, they made a lot of GoBots. This was a big cash cow for Tonka. And sometimes often overshadowed and underrated by the popularity of the Transformers. Even though Hasbro would eventually absorb the GoBots. It's not quite the same, is it? Look at the head on this one. Some of these look so awkward. Still very cool. And secret riders and dread launchers. And these are your dread launchers over here. Looks like a clown, doesn't it? And there's your vehicle modes for the same three figures. And GoBots also used a lot of die cast, which is something that Transformers didn't do. And these are gyrobots and power stalkers. They're basically wind-up toys. And the quick step power stalker, remote controlled, radio controlled. And I guess it can only go forward. I only see one button on that, so I guess it only has one mold. Requires 4 AA and 1 9-volt battery. And that's it for GoBots, and now we're into Rock Lords, which I'm a fan of Rock Lords, actually. I do have several carded Rock Lord figures in the museum. Just, it's a cool concept. It's like, what else can we do with Transformers? Well, let's transform rocks. And it's so goofy. It is so freaking goofy, but again, I love it. I love this stuff. And there's probably more Rock Lords than you realize as we look at this assortment. Hero and enemy assortments, and they are just kind of lumped together here. but we'll take a quick look, give you an idea of the various figures in this catalog. And as you can see, they quite literally, if you're not familiar with the Rock Lords, transform from some lumpy, goofy looking creature into a rock. that's basically it. That's basically the whole idea here. And they're not showing them, but these do come with guns. The Rock Lords are packing. They've got like laser weapons, but they're not showing pictures of it. If you look in their hands, if you want to call it a hand, you see there's like a little spot there, a little hole. Well, the weapon fits into that hole. Sometimes the goofiest toys are the best one. And these are the gnarlies. And these are friction toys. So you can like rev them and they drive. Kind of. I guess they're supposed to be walking or crawling or something like that. And they have hero and enemy gnarlies. I actually have this whole set. And then over here, you have Rockosaurs, which are sort of dinosaurs that, you guessed it, turn into rocks. Playsets and vehicles. That is amazing. I don't know if they made this. Anyone know if they made this playset? That thing looks incredible. And look, you can use it to eat your Rock Lords. Crunch them up. I don't remember this playset though, honestly. I'll have to look it up afterwards. And Rock Pot vehicle, it says. Using the Rock Lords as a weapon, I guess. You can just roll it down the ramp and knock over other Rock Lords like bowling. And here we are, page 36, and we're going to be taking a look at trucks. Something that Tonka is most famous for is sturdy metal trucks. Do they still make them out of metal? They should. Your basic Mighties, loaders and things like that. I think if you grew up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, almost every kid at one point or another had a Tonka truck. I'm pretty sure I had this. I don't remember where I got it, but I had it, or something similar enough to it that I would make the mistake just looking at it. These were big, they were metal, they were sturdy. That was a lot of fun back when kids played with toys. More Mighties, car loader and cement mixer and grader. And when you're a kid, I mean, you get something like this, you don't even know what it is, but it's still cool. It's still fun. Any Tonka fans out there, Tonka collectors? Do you still collect these? Do you hunt down vintage ones? Large vehicles. And they were, if I remember correctly, you could get a 3 3/4 inch figure in there. Because you see it is open on the top on these vehicles. So G.I. Joe sized sort of figures might fit in here if I remember correctly. More large vehicles. Just well built, sturdy, fun to play with. And I'm sure many children Many adults now, looking back from when they were children, remember just hours and hours of fun with this kind of stuff. The dune buggy actually has a cloth top. It's mixed media. The fire trucks were always cool, always fascinating. I like the Jeep, how it comes with a gas can and it comes with a lift so that you can change the tire. See, that's good imagination. It's got a little dirt bike back there. Could you imagine putting your Joes in this and running it around the yard or wherever you might have lived? Small vehicle assortment. I remember this one with the little horses. That one just jumps out at me. I didn't have it, but I remember it. Moving truck, fire truck, car transport with a couple of generic cars on it, a couple of Volkswagen Rabbits or something. That really jumps out though. That's pretty classic looking to me. And then even smaller, like Matchbox or Hot Wheels sized vehicles, I suppose. That's what it looks like. And I like the ones with the attachments. Like, it's got the two little bikes, you know, things like that. That stands out to me. I like that. Or the horse trailer. That's really good detail. More small vehicles from their assortment. And it doesn't specify a size on here, so I can't tell you the exact sizing on these. But any collectors out there who are into this kind of stuff, I'm sure you know already. That one with the boat trailer wants to look really familiar too. And more Tonka trucks. More small vehicles, it says. I like that one, the logging truck. That one jumps out at me. Truck wrecker. It's just cool stuff. Give you a better look at the earth movers. And more small vehicles. So wannabe John Deere. Couple of vans. It says the show-off vans. Hey, vans were a big thing. I don't know if they were still a big thing in the 80s. They were in the 70s, big time. Vans were really a cultural phenomenon. I don't know if that was still around in the 80s. Outside of the A-Team, of course. And gift sets. Don't know what to get your kid for Christmas? How about a Tonka gift set? Anybody ever receive one of these? Birthday or Christmas or something like that growing up? Oh, and they show you the packaging details on these. Again, I like it when they show packaging detail. Sometimes they show you the packaging, and then when you compare it to the actual product, it's different. I've seen that in a few catalogs where the packaging just doesn't match up to what they originally produced. It's like prototype packaging. Get a little stable. And that's it for Tonka. And now we move into some serious grail categories for some of you collectors out there. Steel monsters. And these were not produced for very long, and they are quite expensive on the aftermarket now. Finding these loose complete or in the box is like pulling teeth, and it can be very expensive. But this is another cool series. It's got 3 3/4 inch action figures with these post-apocalyptic looking vehicles, kind of Mad Max-ish. And I never had these, actually. I never had a set of the Steel Monsters. I would love to start collecting them. Let's take a good look. And it says the only survivors. The only survivors. That's the Destroyer, and you got the Assassin here. And the premise for this, actually, is that most of the world's population has been wiped out by an experimental laboratory virus that gets out and infects the general population. The Masher and the Blaster. So they had a lot of interesting storyline connected with this. They had an entire plot designed around it, and it says, actually right there, it says only the fittest will survive. That's their little synopsis explaining the purposes here, the purpose behind their toy concept. But I would definitely love to collect a set of Steel Monsters. Gift set and battery powered vehicle. And that looks like a smaller vehicle. I don't know. Because again, it does not tell you sizing in this catalog. I just happen to know that the figures that go with the general vehicles in this catalog are 3 3/4 inch. And then over here, you've got the Executioner. No riders. He doesn't pick up hitchhikers. Sorry. No hitchhikers on the Executioner. You just have to walk. And that's all they had. But we're moving into powered action. Powered action vehicles and assortments. And we are on page 64. 64. Moving right along, ladies and gentlemen. Battery powered action vehicles. And I don't remember these, but my attention is drawn to the fact that there is a figure sitting in there. And that actually, it's Cykill. So they've got GoBots sitting in these things. I don't think they came with GoBots, but I think they were trying to demonstrate that you could put a figure in it, including GoBots. That's interesting. And these run on C batteries, it says. But I do not remember these vehicles. Maniacs, which look like little tiny wind-up or push-and-go vehicles. And it all says new. So that was introduced in this catalog. I like the little volcano playset for the vehicles. I don't really remember these either. You can't remember everything. Especially in the 80s, so much was produced. So many different toy lines were produced. TNTs, which is basically a little aircraft, as you see, foam aircraft or car attached to a plunger. Hit the plunger and it takes off. Real simple concept. Been used by a lot of toy companies for launching vehicles. Big assortment there. A little playset for launching. And clutch poppers, it says. Turbo sound for real racing excitement. Revving, no batteries required. It's probably another friction vehicle where, you know, you pull it back or you rev it by rolling it on the ground a couple of times and then letting it go. That sort of thing. Because again, I don't think I've handled any of these. I'm not too familiar with these types of vehicles from Tonka. Uh-oh, here is a very nostalgic section. Pound Puppies and Pound Purries. These things got so popular they had their own Saturday morning cartoon. Who remembers that? Who remembers that Pound Puppies had a Saturday morning cartoon? This was a big seller for Tonka as well. Tonka was golden in the 80s. They were doing really well. Look at them all. Puppies and accessories. They don't even want to break it up into the catalog. They're like, okay, here we go. We got a bunch of puppies. Here they are. No individuals? Hardly. Yeah, they just kind of lump them together as an assortment. And I remember they came in like a little carrier, a little doghouse. Yeah, they got a picture of it on the other screen there. Any Pound Puppy or Pound Purry collectors out there? It's a clothing assortment. And that's how they came packaged. I bet they're not too easy to find still sealed in the box anymore. Oh, there's still a paper tab in there. I had neglected to remove that. That tab was here when I got the catalog. Maybe I'll leave it. Pound Puppies Posables, which essentially is Pound Puppies action figures. That's what you're looking at here. And then Pound Puppies Miniatures, which are essentially figurines. But a lot of people don't realize they made Pound Puppy action figures. They made Kenner Care Bears action figures. There were figures made of other properties that a lot of people aren't aware of. Super Pound Puppies, those are really, really big ones. Bet that wasn't cheap. A backpack that you can carry your puppy in. And a playhouse with a little bowl and bone. Pound Puppy, not included. Get your own puppy. Newborns. Yeah, they were just beating us to death. Newborns, and there's a variety of them. Those are the smaller ones. You remember these, I'm sure. And then they have outfits and a carrying case, which are demonstrated here. And here we go with the Pound Purries, opening up on page 82. Pound Purries assortment. And again, they don't really individualize any of these. They just show you a basic assortment of the Pound Purries outfits, and then demonstrate, of course, the packaging. My sister used to get these. My sister had Pound Purries and Popples. She had a lot of Popples. You remember Popples? And who remembers these? The KeyPers, spelled K-E-Y. KeyPers assortment. KeyPers Superstars. Everything in this catalog is a superstar. Come on, Tonka. KeyPers assortment. And my goodness, that is some 80s hair. Still, it was a great decade. A lot of people wish they could go back. Keepers and finders, because of course the finder is the little figurine that you get with your keeper. Who remembers these? A very short-lived toy line. Sort of reminds me of glowworms. And you see how the finder kind of lives inside there. As the shells open up. And backpacks and plush versions. There's adults now that would wear those. Tell the truth. You know you would put this on. I wouldn't wear it, but I know there are adults nowadays that would totally sport that. And then plush versions of the keepers, also with a finder assortment. See, each carrier and plush keeper comes with a finder and a brush, because they're plush, even though it's not really hair. It's just soft goods, like a teddy bear. And Legions of Power. Who remembers this series? And these were with action figures. Legions of Power, Superstars. A superstar is born. Legions of Power is an innovative, futuristic construction system developed by Tonka and Bandai. And what they're suggesting here is that you can probably disconnect and reconnect parts from various vehicles and playsets. Space Fighters and Space Attackers sets. And it looks like they have glowing parts. And they do come with figures. And that's the Space Attackers set in blue. And it's the same vehicle in various configurations, basically. They're demonstrating to you the potential. And then over here, Legions of Power, Space, and Land assortment. And here is your vehicles. I mean, sorry, not your vehicles. Your little tiny, tiny figures that go inside there in their little fat spacesuits. Star Legions set includes Lieutenant Marker and a Trooper. Tech Dynasty set includes Lieutenant Nimrod and a Trooper. Okay. I'm willing to bet those are probably about 2 inches tall. Again, there's no sizes in here, which I wish there were. Land Rovers and Ground Terrors set. Which I think these are pretty cool, actually. And if I remember correctly, they don't sell for a whole lot aftermarket even now. So if this is something you're interested in, you could probably snap a couple up for a good price. And there's the figures assortment. Lieutenant Rob Bart. Come on. What's your name? Rob Bart. That cracks me up. And there's your Ground Terror set. Ground Terror. Are you frightened? Don't be frightened. It's just a catalog. And here we have some Jeffron and Wartech sets, it says. Now, that sounds like some Warhammer crap. Oh, it comes with Jeffron, the Courageous Leader, and Wartech, the Demonic Overlord, are the figures that come with this vehicle. That's why. Well, the Jeffron comes with the orange stuff, of course, because that's the good stuff. Oh no, am I mixing it up again? No, the orange one is the Wartech. I'm sorry. Maybe I should read it. It says Wartech right there. And then the Jeffron set is on this side. I can't remember everything. Sometimes I gotta read it. I think these are pretty cool. But you all know I love vintage toys. I really do. And then in-flight command and planetary control vehicles. And you'll notice a pattern with the action figures. I mean, it's basically the same figures over and over again, just with some repaints. They weren't going to invest too much in this. Not too many pieces in the set, because we're pretty much at the end of the catalog. So it wouldn't take a lot to put this together. I'm kind of tempted. I'm going to have to put this on the back burner, because I don't have any of these, but I'm liking it. I'm wondering now, I don't remember what the packaging looks like. So I'm wanting to see the packaging right now. And then the last page. 101 is the last page in the catalog. And this is the Prolon Protectors. Protectors. Some of the names they come up with this stuff is just outrageous. But that is the Protectors set. Very interesting. It looks like it's supposed to be kind of a base. See the guy there. And you get the idea. This is all interchangeable. You could swap pieces. It's an interesting idea. But unfortunately, it's the last idea, because that is the end of the catalog. That was the final page, page 101. So, any thoughts? Did you enjoy that? Do you like when we do the catalog tours? I don't mind doing it. It doesn't get a whole crap ton of views, but I don't mind sharing my catalogs with the viewers. I know a lot of people do like them. Did you see anything in here that you had or that you're interested in? Maybe you saw something and you're like, hey, I forgot all about that, or I didn't know they ever made those. I want to get that. Tell us about it in the comment section down below. Yeah, looking at this, I can see I'm a long way from finishing my Rock Lords collection, I'll tell you what. But let me know what your thoughts are. What was your favorite thing in this catalog? Did something in this catalog inspire you? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All that good stuff. Check out some of our other videos. We're all in nostalgia here. And so if that's it, what more can I say? But thanks for watching. And we will see you again soon.